To make the Fairy Garden Mandala, there are a few supplies that you need. You'll be crocheting with size 10 crochet thread. Comes in so many beautiful colors. You'll see in the supply list in the description below a bunch of different places where you can get this. You'll need a size 1.25 crochet hook. It does have a very small steel end to it. Then you'll also need a variety of acrylic faceted clear beads. Any size would work. I used all different sizes in this project. And then you'll also want a focal bead, and I explain more about that in the video later. There's so many different kinds. You'll also need a yarn needle and scissors, and I show you how to use this tool right here, the Tassel Maker by Clover, if you want to make tassels that match the yarn that you're using. So let's get started. I'm going to show you how to make this mandala using a larger yarn so it's easier to see the stitches. So you'll start this project with an adjustable ring. I have a video just on this technique right there, but what you'll do is lay the working yarn, wrap it around your non-working hand, lay it across your knuckles like that after you've made the loop, put your hook in and pull the working yarn through the loop, pinch the loop here with your working hand while you get your non-working hand ready to roll, and then chain one to lock it in place. And then we're going to do 2 more chains, and now we're going to work 11 double crochets in this adjustable ring. If you don't want to do the adjustable ring, you don't have to. You could just chain 4 and then do 11 double crochets in the 4th chain from your hook. So remember, double crochet, yarn over, put your hook in, yarn over, pull through, then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We want a total of 12, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that first chain 3 counts as 1 double crochet, and then we made 11 more. And then here's the magic. We take that short yarn tail and pull, and that cinches up the center of our circle. And then we're going to put our hook into the top of that first chain 3 and do a slip stitch. Yarn over, pull through everything. And now we have a nice little circle. Round 2, we're going to start it by crocheting 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we're going to skip 1 stitch and double crochet in the next one. Yarn over, put my hook in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, through 2. And so this chain 8 counts as 1 double crochet and a chain 5 space. Now we're going to do the same thing all the way around. Chain 5, skip 1, then double crochet in the next one. We're creating these big spaces here near the center. Chain 5 again, skip another one. We keep doing that till we get all the way back around to the beginning. So these chain 5 spaces created these big gaps. We're on our last one, so we're going to count up 1, 2, 3 chains from that starting chain 8, put our hook into the 3rd chain, yarn over, pull through everything, slip stitch, and close it all up. And if you count, you should have 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you're ready to move on to round 3. We're going to slip stitch into that first chain 5 space, and now we're going to do a beginning popcorn. So we're going to chain 3, that counts as a double crochet, and we're going to do 4 more double crochets right here inside this space. So that's 2, 3, 4. So there you can see we have this one counts as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is how you do the popcorn stitch. You take your hook out, leave that working loop. Be careful that your cat or dog doesn't run away with your yarn. Put your hook through that first stitch, and then you're going to now grab that loop and pull it through the first stitch. That cinches up those 5 stitches into a nice bauble. See that? A popcorn. And now what we're going to do is chain 3, and then we're going to do a chain 3 picot. So we chain 3 again, but we're going to insert our hook into the 3rd chain from the hook, yarn over, pull through everything. That's a slip stitch. And then we're going to chain 3 again. And see, that creates a nice point that's going to be in between all of the popcorns to give it a sunshine or flower look. And now we're going to do a regular popcorn. So we yarn over, and we're going to still work in that same space we were working in before, right next to the first popcorn. And we're going to work 5 double crochets here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we remove our hook, just like that. See, there's the loop. And now I'm going to put my hook through that first double crochet, go over, grab the loop, pull it through, and that creates that nice bumpy, chunky section of crochet. Then we repeat the pointy part. Chain 3, then a chain 3 picot, which is 3 more chains. Insert your hook in that first chain of that next chain 3, yarn over, pull through everything for a slip stitch, and then chain 3 again. And we're going to repeat that all the way around. You're going to put 2 popcorns in every space around with this chain 3 picot, chain 3 in between. So here we have that whole round completed with 2 popcorn stitches per space. Here's my last picot section, chain 3 picot, chain 3, and I'm going to insert my hook into the top of that first popcorn, yarn over and pull through everything, a slip stitch, and then I would fasten off so that I can join a new color for the last round. Now I'm going to do 2 more rounds with a new color. So I put that new color as a slip knot on my hook, and I pick any one of these chain 3 picots, and I'm going to put my hook into that space, yarn over, pull through the space and through the loop on my hook, and I've just joined the new color with a slip stitch. Then I'm going to chain 6, and then I'll find the next chain 3 picot, put my hook into that, yarn over, pull through the picot and through the loop on my hook for another slip stitch. So you can see I'm adding a bridge between all these picots, and I will continue that all the way around. Chain 6, find the next chain 3 picot, put my hook in, yarn over, pull through everything. And I'll keep doing that all the way around. Here you can see I've gone all the way around with the chain 6 and then slip stitch in each chain 3 picot. And here's my last chain 6, and then I'm going to slip stitch in that starting slip stitch to close the circle up. You can see how that looks. To begin this round, I slip stitch into that first chain 6 space, and I'm going to do a beginning popcorn. Chain 3 and then 4 more double crochets all in this space. And then remember, with the beginning popcorn, that first chain 3 counts as a double crochet. Put my hook through the top, then I put my hook through the working loop and pull it through, slide it over a little bit, and now I'm going to chain 4. And now I'll do a regular popcorn. So I'm going to do 5 double crochets in the same space. 2, 3, 4, 5. Take my hook out of the loop, find that first, see there's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets, put my hook through the first one, grab the loop, pull it through, and then chain 4 again. And I will repeat that all the way around, working 2 popcorn stitches in each chain 6 space with a chain 4 in between. For the last round of the mandala, you'll be continuing those 2 popcorns in each chain 6 space all the way around. So I'll show you how to do the last popcorn with the thread. It's a little different than working with that large yarn. Yarn over, put your hook into the space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 1 double crochet. We're going to make 5 of those. 3, 4, 5. So you can see here, 5 double crochet. I took my hook out of the working loop. I'm going to insert my hook through the top of that first double crochet and then through the working loop and pull it through, and that closes up the popcorn, makes it pop. And then we have 4 chains, and here's that very first popcorn, and I'm going to insert my hook into the top of that, yarn over, pull through the popcorn and through the loop on my hook for a slip stitch. And now I've completed my last round of the mandala. And here is my first one I fastened off. This one I'm not going to fasten off. And I just prepared the mirror. I got these mirrors here, 3-inch mirrors at Hobby Lobby. You can find them online as well. There's a link in the description below where to purchase these. And on the back, there's this kind of papery surface. It's not really paper, but it's just white. So you can paint this with silver paint. You can paint with any color you want. You could paint it black because these mandalas are going to be double-sided. So I had some foil tape on hand. So I decided that I would cover the back with foil tape. So I peel it off, lay that down, and then use these smaller pieces on the sides, and then trim with my scissors, cut around all that excess. And then I have a semi-reflective surface on the back. Here's the mirror with the foil tape on the back. And I'm going to work around that, but I can go halfway before I need to pick up the mirror. So I'm going to put my hook into both of those chain 4 spaces. See, here they are right there. And I'm going to work a single crochet and another single crochet. So 2 single crochets. Then I'm going to chain 2, and this is called a chain 2 picot, but how I like to do it is I like to insert my hook into that left hand side of the single crochet. Can you see that? So there's a tiny single crochet there, and I'm going to insert my hook through the left hand side, yarn over, and pull through everything for a slip stitch. And that makes this little peak. And then I'm going to do 2 more single crochets. And I'm going to do that in each chain 4 space all the way around. And that little picot makes for an interesting edging to contrast with the popcorns. So because that was so small, I'm going to show you how to do that picot with this larger yarn. So here's my chain 4 space. I'm going to put my hook in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 for a single crochet, and I'm going to do a second one. So 2 single crochets, then chain 2, and then here is that single crochet right here, and I'm going to insert my hook right through the center of the single crochet and through that left loop. Put my hook in there, yarn over, pull through that loop and through the loop on my hook. And then I'm going to do 2 more single crochets in that same chain 4 space. And there you can see it, much bigger and easier. So I'll continue that all the way around, joining the 2 mandalas together. Now that I've gone a little bit more than halfway around, you can see my mandalas have been joined together. I'm going to insert the mirror like so. And it stretches, and I want it to pull across like that to really make those stitches pop, and that the pointy parts of the flower-like center to really stand out. And I just continue doing those 2 single crochets, making sure I work through both of the chain 4 spaces you can see here. And working the chain 2 picot as I did before. It's a little trickier when you have the mirror in the way, but you get the hang of it. And I'll continue that all the way to the first single crochet, and I'll slip stitch in that. Here you can see I've gone all the way around, and now right here, my last picot and 2 single crochets on either side, go right into the beginning of the round, popcorn or the first single crochet, doesn't really matter. Did a slip stitch, and now I'm ready to add the decorative elements. So before we add the beads, let me show you a few of the Fairy Garden Mandalas I've made to give you some ideas. All of them I put tassels on the bottom, and I actually have a tassel making video right up there that you can watch of how to make them with Clover Small Tassel Maker gadget. It's a great little gadget, makes really nice tassels once you get the hang of it. So here I added some clear acrylic round beads, some plastic red heart beads, a silvery heart bead. On this one here, I used 3 colors of yarn and then used clear acrylic round beads with a silver mandala looking round bead, and then I used different color tassels, 2 purple and 1 blue. This one here, I had this, of course, a Celtic knot bead in my stash that was orange, so I thought it was perfect. And as you can see, all of them have a large one-of-a-kind bead in the center. So that's what you're going to want to look for as you plan out your mandala. If you have a lot of beads in your craft stash like I do, that's all I did. I just went through and found ones that seemed to match. This 2 shades of purple one, I had these large glass clear butterflies. I love butterflies. So that worked well. I just brought this in from outside. My husband watered the lawn and it's holding up just fine. Of course, don't keep it out over the winter. I also used some small seed beads. These are the 6/0 seed beads on some of them. So the bead supplies are all listed in the description below and on my blog, CelticKnotCrochet.com, where you can see this pattern written up. But you'll see here you have about 6 to 10 round faceted acrylic beads, and then you want 1 center unique bead that coordinates with the colors that you chose. You can see them all here. For the center bead length, you want to chain 50. Now you might have some extra, that's okay, we'll cut them off later. And you're going to put several overhand knots in this bead length. So over, and then feed the end through, and then I want to carefully work it so the knot stays at the top or the end of this chain length. Right like that. You see, right like that. And now I have a stopper to keep all the beads on. So you can see I threaded on one of the small seed beads. It's a 6/0 seed bead. And then I would put another overhand knot. And make sure that that knot is up as close as I can next to that. So all the beads will be sandwiched in between 2 knots. Then I'm going to put on a large round acrylic clear bead. And another knot. Of course, you can do these in whatever order you would like. And then I had some of these large, super sparkly beads, and since it's green, and put another knot. This helps keep the beads from cramming all together or falling off. Spaces them out nicely when you put the knot there. And then I'll just copy the same pattern on the other side. You can use a beading needle, but I found with the thread it goes through pretty easily. And I'll stop by adding one more bead. And then when I'm finished adding as many beads as I would like, I put the last knot after the last bead, and then I'm going to put one more knot, and this is key to attaching the tassel. Now if you are using bought tassels, then you don't need this knot, and you can just thread this chain length down through the center of your tassel and sew it on, and you're all set. But I put a second knot at the bottom, and actually I'm going to make it doubly thick so you can put a knot on top of a knot to make it a little bit bigger, because this is what helps hold the tassel onto my project. So you can see that knot came out a little bit bigger. I decided to show you how to make the tassel. I'm going to do it very quickly, but I have another video linked right up there where you can watch a detailed explanation of, and much slower, of how to make the tassel. But you use this gadget, a small tassel maker by Clover. You thread the thread through here, wrap it around about 22 times, and then thread the end of the thread through here and cut it off. And as you can see, there's this opening right in here that we're going to tie up. But the trickiest part is that you have to get that special knot that we made at the end of our bead length in between there. So I take about an 8-inch piece of the thread, and I find the center point, which is marked by these small arrows, and I'm going to tie a knot to close up this tassel center. But before I close it up too much, I'm going to take that smaller knot that I made in the bottom of my bead length, and I'm going to put that through the center of the tassel. And of course, normally I would do this before I've attached it to the mandala. And then I tighten this tie around the center of the tassel as tight as I can with that knot at the bottom secured below this tie. So the knot is right inside underneath here. And then I'm going to flip it over, making sure that that knot is still in there. Nope, it slipped out, so I just pull it back in. And I'm going to tie another nice tight knot, as tight as I can. Pull it tight again. And another knot. Like so. Okay. And then this is where the magic happens for this gadget. So I have the tassel secured to my bead length, and now the top of this tassel maker here has a channel where you can fit your scissors. So you grasp the center of the tassel and you snip these threads, and while still holding it, you want to do the same on the other side. Put your scissors through the channel, and you're all set with that gadget. And you can see here I've got the beginnings of a tassel. This here is another tricky part. You want to put the bead length inside, so you have half the threads on top and half on the bottom, and you're going to fold them back to create that nice top of a tassel. Fold them back, and then you have to play around with it a little bit. You want to make sure that knot is in the center. Okay, so it looks pretty good now. And then I'm going to lay it down and use one of those pieces of thread that was on the tassel maker that got clipped off. Now, in the directions for the tassel maker, they show you how to tie this off, and I tried it a couple times and I found it was very difficult with thread to get it to work like I wanted. So I'm just going to do a nice tight overhand knot and then do another one on top and then wrap this one around here and this one around the back and out the other side like that, and then tie them in another double knot. And that secures the tassel. And here's that center chain that was a little long, so we'll just cut that because remember it's knotted. And then I'm going to trim up the tassel so all these lengths are the same. And you could keep doing this until you got the length you like. If you want a smaller tassel, this is where you make it smaller. And a nice finishing touch I discovered is if you take those, see how this knot here, these kind of stick out funny. So I just take my needle and thread those down inside the tassel so they don't stick out. And I repeated the same steps and I added the tassel on to these other lengths. These lengths, instead of chaining 50, I chained 28. And I made them the same way, as you can see, with a knot and then a bead, knot, bead, knot, bead. And again, design numbers that work great are 3 or 5. And if you look on the photos at CelticKnotCrochet.com, you'll see that they're different widths apart. So this one here, I put the center bead length right through this chain 2 picot, and then I skipped a picot and put the next bead length there, and then I skipped one and I put one here so they were evenly spaced. This one I decided to put in between 2 picots and then skip the space in between and then put these outside ones on the picot. So you can decide how you'd like to spread them apart. Some of it depends on how big this center focal point bead is. So here I have the needle on my bead length thread, and I know that I need to skip 11 picots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11 to find the one that matches from where I have my hanger at the top. Put the hook right into the needle, right into the chain 2 picot. Pull up the end, as you can see, and I would secure it on just like I would anything else that I'm sewing with crochet. I'll weave my needle back into the bead length chain like so, and then back through the chain 2 picot, and then I'll probably put a knot. So you thread the needle through the crocheted piece and then put your needle through that loop before you close it up, and that gives you a nice knot. And then I would hide this crochet thread end in those joining single crochets so it stays secure and you can't see it. And then I would come along and cut that. You can see. And I'd repeat that with the other 2 bead lengths. So there you have the Fairy Garden Mandala. I hope you enjoyed making this project. I had a lot of fun making it in so many different colors. And of course, if you don't want to hang it outside, you can hang these inside where they reflect the light with the mirrors and the faceted beads. Thanks for watching, and make sure to give us a thumbs up and click to subscribe. Happy crocheting!